In a small neighborhood where the houses stood close together lived a boy named Ethan. He was a very quiet boy. He didn't have many toys or fancy clothes. His family did not have much money. Ethan was not the best at sports, and he could not sing or draw in a way that made people stop and stare. He was, in many ways, just an ordinary boy, living a very simple and quiet life. But Ethan had a special kind of wealth inside him. It was a gentle curiosity that made him wake up each morning with a wonderful question in his mind. What is something new I can learn today? Ethan's world was not filled with grand adventures to faraway lands. Instead, his adventures took place within the pages of books from the little town library. He traveled through history, explored the stars, and learned how plants grow, all while sitting in his favorite comfortable chair. He would watch videos online to understand how to fix a wobbly table leg or how to tie a special kind of knot. He believed that every single day offered a gift, a brand new piece of knowledge, and he was always ready and willing to receive it. This was his simple, happy routine. He spent many hours just watching the world around him. He noticed the way the baker kneaded dough until it was smooth and stretchy. He saw how the mail carrier organized letters to make her route faster and easier. He observed the way a little bird built its nest, one twig at a time, making it strong and safe. To Ethan, every person and every living thing was a teacher. He learned that paying close attention was a way of showing you care, and there was so much to care about in his little corner of the world. This quiet way of being was something special. While other children might be running and shouting, Ethan found joy in the stillness of learning. He didn't need a big audience or a shiny trophy to feel good about himself. His happiness came from the simple act of understanding something new. It was a feeling like a warm, gentle light growing inside of him. He knew that even if no one else saw it, that light was there, and it was growing a little bit brighter with each passing day. It was a treasure that was all his own. Ethan's daily habit of learning was as regular as the sun rising in the morning. He would read about how gears work in a clock, then watch a video about how to bake bread without yeast. He didn't just learn big, complicated things. He learned small, useful things too. He learned how to listen carefully when someone was talking, so they felt heard and understood. Some of the older kids in the neighborhood would see him with his books and his notebooks. They would laugh and say, "Ethan, why are you always reading? You're wasting your time. Come play." They did not understand the joy he found in his quiet studies. To them, success meant being the fastest runner or the most popular person in the schoolyard. They saw his stacks of library books and his focused attention as strange. "What good will that ever do you?" a neighbor once called out as Ethan was carefully studying the leaves on a tomato plant. Ethan would just smile a small, gentle smile. He never argued or tried to explain. He knew in his heart that learning was never, ever a waste of time. It was like planting tiny seeds in a garden. He knew that what he was doing was important, even if he was the only one who thought so. Each fact he learned, each skill he practiced, was like adding a new tool to a special toolbox in his mind. He didn't know exactly when or how he would use these tools, but he trusted that they would be useful someday. He felt that being prepared to help was a good way to be. So he continued his daily practice, filling his mind and his heart with knowledge, like a squirrel gathering nuts for the winter, patiently and quietly. This gentle persistence was a part of who he was. The teasing words of others were like raindrops on a window pane. He noticed them, but he didn't let them inside to spoil his day. His inner world was rich and full. He was building something wonderful, peaceful, day by day. He was building himself. He was becoming a person who knew many things, not to show off, but simply for the goodness of knowing. And he had a feeling, a deep and hopeful feeling, that this goodness would be something he could share with others. As Ethan grew, so did his collection of knowledge. He started to notice the little struggles people faced around him every day. He saw a friend who was having a hard time with his math homework, feeling frustrated and sad. He noticed an elderly neighbor whose fence gate was broken and squeaked loudly every time it opened. He saw a young mother trying to figure out how to put together a new toy for her child, the instructions looking like a confusing puzzle. He saw these small problems, and his heart told him that he could help. He had the tools in his toolbox. So, he decided to do something. He didn't make a big announcement or put up a sign. He just started to help in his quiet way. He sat with his friend and drew pictures of the math problem, making it look like a fun game instead of a chore. He went to his neighbor's house with a small can of oil and a screwdriver he had borrowed. With a few turns and a little oil, the gate swung silently and smoothly. He showed the young mother a simple trick he had learned from a video for reading instructions, and soon the toy was assembled, much to the child's delight. At first, some people were surprised. A few even thought it was strange. "Why is he doing that for free?" they would whisper. They were used to a world where people only did things if they got something in return, like money or praise. But Ethan never asked for anything. His reward was the look of relief on his friend's face, or the happy smile from his neighbor. He started a little learning circle in the park, teaching younger children creative ways to remember things for school, using songs and rhymes he had made up. He made learning feel like a wonderful discovery. For the children, he turned difficult subjects into exciting adventures. For the adults, he shared practical skills without ever making them feel like they should have known how to do it already. He taught a group of neighbors how to plant a small vegetable garden, showing them how to test the soil and care for the seedlings. He was a helper, a quiet guide who shared what he knew with a kind and open heart. He simply wanted everyone to feel a little more capable and a little more confident. Slowly but surely, something wonderful began to happen in the neighborhood. The initial resistance and suspicion melted away, like snow in the springtime. The children who attended Ethan's learning circle started doing better in school. Their grades improved, but more importantly, they started to love learning. They became more curious and confident, just like Ethan. The adults he had helped started helping each other. The man whose gate he fixed learned how to do it himself and then helped another neighbor with her squeaky door. The whole neighborhood began to feel different. It felt happier, friendlier, and more connected. People started talking to each other more, sharing skills and helping with small problems. The little vegetable garden Ethan had helped plant became a community project, with everyone sharing in the work and the delicious harvest. The place felt brighter. It was all because one quiet boy had decided to share his knowledge, not for fame or fortune, but simply out of the goodness of his heart. He had planted seeds of kindness, and now a beautiful garden of community was growing. Years went by, and Ethan continued his quiet work. He never put his name on anything. He never asked for thanks. He just kept learning and kept helping. Stories began to spread through the town. Whispers of an anonymous helper, a kind mentor who was changing lives. People would say, "I don't know who taught my son, but he loves to read now." Or, "Someone showed me how to fix my bike, and I never even got their name." They didn't know it was Ethan, the quiet boy who lived simply, and that was perfectly fine with him. Ethan's story teaches us something very important about what it means to be successful. True success isn't measured by how much money you have or how famous you become. It's not about being the loudest person in the room. Real, lasting success is measured by the positive impact you have on the lives of others. It's about the good you put into the world, even when no one is watching. Like Ethan, we can all make a difference, one small, kind, helpful act at a time. And that is one of the most wonderful things in the world.
Save the video and subscribe The Art of Life for the daily motivation.